Hey there, how are you doing today? It's after the holidays. I hope that everybody had a decent Christmas and New Year's Eve. It was kind of real weird. For me, it was real weird this year. I'm sure it was a little bit weird for other people out there too, but I hope at least that you had some fun, maybe got some presents, and, had some really good quality time with your family. I only was able to see my daughter and son-in-law and my granddaughter throughout the entire 2 weeks, so that wasn't cool, but it was good to be with them anyway. So I get that out of the way. I hope you're well. You've been safe. You've been wearing this thing when you go outside because it's still kind of weird outside, as we all know. But I'm glad you're here. And maybe before I even start off that way, I'm just going to let you know that if this is your first time here, my name is Mr. Paul, and I'm an art teacher, and I assume that you're here to do an art project. So you've come to the right place for that. This art session, is going to be about the golden rule. You know what that means, I'm sure. You've heard that many times before, but we're going to talk about the origins of that phrase and what that means and how it can affect our lives, and we're going to do a really, really cool art project, I think anyway, using colored pencils and regular pencils and doing some really cool drawings. So I think it'd be everybody, get your materials, your pencils, your crayons, your white paper, and we can do this. Okay, let's get started. First of all, let me talk just a little bit, and we're going to jump right into this art project. Everybody knows, or everybody has heard the term the golden rule. And I think most of you know what that means, but just in case you don't, the golden rule, I looked it up to see, what it really meant. And it means do unto others as you would want others to do to you. You treat people the way you want to be treated, and they'll treat you that way, and you can treat them good as well, right? It's kind of like you do for me and I'll do for you. We're going to do right with each other. We're going to tell the truth. We're not going to cheat each other, that kind of a thing. It's real simple, and I know that you guys have heard this for a long, long time, because I tell you what, the actual phrase golden rule is a really, really old phrase. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But let's start this project. Right now, I kind of want you to kind of focus on this thing right here. I want you to do a version of that. And what I mean by that is I want you to use the words. We're going to do a lot of words today, the golden rule. And I want you to put a backdrop, a pleasant backdrop, no monsters or ninjas or anything in the background, something pleasant, something positive in the background. And then to top it off, what we're going to do is we are going to make like a button, right? A round button. It doesn't have to be round. It can be square or rectangle or what have you. And it says, be a golden kid. And what that means is that you choose to be that good person. You choose to follow that golden rule because you realize, first of all, it's the right thing to do. And secondly, it can help your life out too, right? So let's start with the letters. Again, I know that most of you know how to make letters, but this is really kind of a simple thing. What I've done is I've kind of made bubble letters. And how I made the bubble letters is that I rounded off everything, right? It's like, instead of going real square, kind of like this, like sometimes you see, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to round everything off. I don't want to have any kind of sharp point or sharp edge. Something really, really rounded. Kind of like if you know those balloon letters that you can buy, um, that you can make words out of, but they're made out of mylar balloons. So it's kind of like that. Everything is going to be rounded, like these were like balloons, and they have strings on them, and you hold them in place. So first thing, I want you to draw the words, the golden rule. And so try to do it kind of the same way, but I want you to put your own interpretation on this. And what I mean by that is that you don't have to do it exactly like this, but you can take that idea and you can change it a little bit and make it your own. That's what I want you to do. So when you interpret something, you don't maybe add something that's not there or subtract something that you don't like, right? You just kind of shift it around and kind of make it your own. And one of the easiest ways to make it your own is you choose the colors that you want to make. You could do this exactly the same way, but use different colors. And what you're doing is you are creating your own interpretation of this piece of art. Okay? So let's get back to the lettering. Remember, keep it rounded. There we go. Uh-oh, made that a little bit too square. That's no good. Excuse me. The golden rule. There we go. Now, see, I'm doing this really fast because I've done this 1,000 different times. So it may take you a little longer to do that, and that is quite fine. Remember, I don't expect you to do perfect things. I mean, this isn't perfect, right? I'm not expecting you to do perfect things, but I do ask you to try. Try to do your best. That's all I ever ask of any of the students, whether they're virtual students or whether I'm in that classroom with my kids. Just do your best. Because when you do your best and you focus and you try to get it the way that you want to get it, you're building a skill, right? You do it once like this, you may stumble, you may have a little bit of problem with it, but the next time you do bubble letters, it's going to be easier, the next time easier, and eventually what's going to happen is you're going to be able to do it just like I am. You round off everything and you get it done really, really quickly. So I've got the first thing, which was the golden rule, and the next thing is I'm going to put the circle or whatever you decide a shape you want. If this was a button, right, that you were going to wear, you're going to pin on your chest, you could make a star, a circle, of course. You can do it any shape that you want. And again, now I made, little bubble letters in here, but you don't have to do it that way. You can just write just regular printed letters. B, A, golden kid. There we go, see? And I'm going to put a little circle around that because this is a button that you wear, and I thought, just put a circle around it to make it look bigger and more important, kind of a thing. Okay, another thing is what kind of background? Now I did like this big hill and some little mountains in the back and then some clouds in the sky. Again, you don't need to do that. You could do a night sky. You could do outer space out there. You could put golden coins falling from the sky. Anything that you want to do would be great, right? Use your imagination. Got to use that imagination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my thing, and I'm going to go all the way up into the letters. Like this. Right? If you wanted to, you could do something like that, and you could make a volcano in the back, shooting up sparks of fire. That would be kind of cool too. And then I'm going to put my little mountains back here. And notice that I'm putting the main thing about this drawing right in the center. I mean, right in the center. Because it's the most important thing in the drawings that we're doing today. If this was a poster, can you imagine that being on a billboard out, you know, on the highway, something really, really large that you would want to use real colorful, you know, and you would want it to be, you know, interesting enough for you to get your message across. The golden rule. It's an important rule. It's an important way to live. So try, whatever you do, add to that idea and not take it away. Meaning, we don't need anybody shooting guns in the background, right? Let's stay away from negative images here. We're talking about a really, really cool thing, right? So if you haven't started, remember, you need regular pencils, erasers, just regular paper, maybe a pencil sharpener if you need a pencil sharpener. I always like to have a pencil sharpener ready, and some colored pencils or crayons or any other color kind of a thing that you would like to use on this piece, because I really am going to ask you to color the whole thing in just like I did here, right? So I'm going to take a short break. When we get back, we will get into picking our colors and trying to finish off this project. I'll be right back.